Hello and welcome to the Chord Guitar Level 4 lesson on major triads. Now, this lesson is just going to cover the major triad shapes. There will be a lesson coming up next on minor triads. So before you watch this, it's a good idea to make sure you're comfortable with your open chords and your bar chords. If you're not, there are free lessons on the Chord Guitar website for you to check out. But if you're ready, then I'm going to show you how to play some triads. Triads are great because they can be incorporated into absolutely all styles of music. Classic rock bands use them, bands such as the Rolling Stones, Leonard Skinner. They're very common in styles such as reggae, so Bob Marley will lean heavily on them. And even modern rock bands and indie rock bands use them quite a lot. So they're really great. And the best thing about them is they're actually really easy to play. You only need to know 3 notes basically. But even though they're so easy to play, they can actually add a little bit of complexity to your guitar playing. If you're stuck using the same open chord shapes every time for a chord progression, it might get a little boring. You might feel that it's getting a little bit boring. So this lesson is for you because it really will open up your rhythm guitar playing a bit. Right, so there is a little bit of theory behind playing triads. Basically, I'll start back. If you take an open G chord, so hopefully you already know that one, you'll find that although you're playing 6 strings, you're playing all those strings, so you've got 6 notes in there. You've actually, well, you don't have 6 notes. You're playing 6 strings, but you're only actually playing 3 different notes in there. If you count them, you've got G, B, D, but then you have G again, D again, and G again. So you've only actually got G, B and D in there that are different. So you've got 3 notes. And what those notes are, they are the intervals that make a major chord. You've got, if I count up a major scale, you've got the root, the 3rd and the 5th. So basically you've got the root, the G, that's the 2nd, 3rd there, so the B, and then you've got 4, 5, that's the 5th there, so it's a D, root, 3rd, 5th, and those 3 notes are what actually make a major chord. And if you look up the guitar neck and pinpoint where those notes are on all the strings, you'll find that they actually fall into easy to play shapes like boxes. You'll find that they're often grouped near each other where you can play them on 3 separate strings, and these are what are known as triads basically. And each string set, so that's a group of 3 strings, has 3 different shapes up the neck. You can root them off the E string and the A string, but this lesson is just going to cover starting on the D string and starting on the G string for the purposes of showing you the triad shapes. So basically the first shape we've got, if you take a G there on the D string, so that's the first opportunity you get to play a G on the D string there, the 5th fret. That'd be a root. Next you're going to look for the 3rd. You see that that's right there. The 4th fret on the G string, the B, and then you see again you've got a D right there, 3rd fret on the B string. So that there is your first triad shape. You can also actually see how that fits into the G bar chord there. You're just extracting those three strings patterns out of it. If we move up to the next shape, you're going to go up to the 9th fret. You see you've got a B there, which is a 3rd. You know that's in the triad. 1st finger on the 7th fret of the G string, the D, the 5th. And then you see you can play your 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the B string, the G there. And that's the 2nd triad shape. And you will actually notice that you can shift that all the way down here and play a C chord. That is actually a C chord shape. You've got there final shape on the D string is all the way up at the 12th fret. D there. Play that with your second finger. You got a G there on the G string, the 12th fret. Play that with your third finger. And a B there on the B string, the 12th fret. And that is an A shape there. So if you compare that, the bar chord that you already know, you've got the A shape. So there you have it. On the D string you've got 1, 2 and 3. Due to the tuning of the guitar, the shapes do change rooted from the G string as well. So you've got 3 different shapes here as well. So all in all you're going to be learning 6 shapes for the major. So the first opportunity you get is there. So that's starting on the G string at the 4th fret, which is a B, the 3rd of your G chord. And then you do a little bar with your first finger there. You play the D and the G. Next one you've got, that's a little D shape there. You've got 7th fret, the D on the G string. 3rd finger, 8th fret, your G on the B string, and then 2nd finger on the 7th fret on the E string, that's your B. And finally you've got 2nd finger on the G string at the 12th fret, that is the G, your B there, and then 10th fret E string, that's your D. So again, that's sort of the top of an A shape there. And you find that basically those each string set, the 3 positions are all rooted from a different interval of the chord. If you take any note from the chord and play it anywhere, there will be a triad you can play from that note. And basically these are known as inversions. So that first one that I showed you there on the D string, because it begins on the G, the root, that is known as the root inversion. But you'll notice this second shape here, that actually begins on the B, which is the 3rd. We don't get the G until there. So the root is the B, which is known as the 1st inversion. And that just means that you're not playing the chord from the root note, you're beginning it on the 3rd interval. And the same applies to the next shape there. That's actually rooted from the D, the 5th. Your 5th is the root this time. So that would be known as 2nd inversion. And if you look counting up the net, you've got root, inversion, 1st inversion, and 2nd inversion. Same applies here. If you take this shape what I showed you on the G string beginning at the 4th fret, you'll notice that begins on the B, which means it is known as 1st inversion. This D shape here begins on the D at the 7th fret, which means that is known as 2nd inversion because you're starting on the 5th. And finally you get this shape here, which is actually the root inversion for this string set. So have a play around with them, make sure you get comfortable learning all those shapes, and then I'll just show you that quick example of what you heard at the beginning.